All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here as we are unveiling our newest bicycle track as part of the Pittsburgh Bicycle Network. This bike lane, which you can actually see on your left, that comes right from Stanwix and 3rd all the way around to Commonwealth Place, is the newest connection in our bicycle network. The new bike track is a two-way bike track, and it goes over 2 raised bus platforms so that the roads are safer for pedestrians, transit users, bicyclists, and motorists. This project has been in the works since about 2015, and some of our partners will talk a little bit more about that. But it's really been a community and agency-driven project so that we can allow for our cyclists to safely connect to employment areas as well as our recreational trails along the riverfront. This not just connects the missing pieces of the bicycle networks, but makes downtown a safer for all commuters. This project was a collaboration with a lot of partners, so bear with me as we thank everybody who is part of this project who are here today and those who were not able to make it. First, Councilman Lavelle was unable to make it, but we thank him for his support of this project here in his district. PennDOT was also not able to be here, but we appreciate their partnership in helping to create this connection so that people can have access to Point State Park. We have the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, the Director Karina Ricks, and the Project Manager Katie Sawyer, who aren't able to be here today, but we also have Eric Stein, Paige Anderson, Mike Maylock, who will speak a little bit in just a moment. We'd like to thank the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, Jeremy Waldrop, Chris Watts, and their whole team for really bringing the community perspective and the business's interest into this project. Bike Pittsburgh, Scott Bricker and his team, for their advocacy and making sure that we have a safe network for all users. Friends of the Riverfront for their advocacy in activating our riverfront access for residents and visitors to enjoy the natural splendor that we have, but also the business district that we have downtown. And we'd also like to thank our contractors, the Mackin Engineering Company, Michael Baker International, and A. Moranti Contracting for all of their hard work during this. So we have about 1,100 daily bicycle commuters that come downtown every day, and not only does this provide access for them to downtown, but it also, I think there's hundreds of thousands who visit the Great Allegheny Passage Trail every year that starts at Point State Park, goes the 150 miles into Maryland. A lot of people choose this as their destination or their starting point because it's so beautiful, and now they have an opportunity to come into downtown Pittsburgh and get to check out our amenities. So with that, I will pass it over to Eric Stein from our Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to talk a little bit more about the project.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm going to expand upon a couple of things that Molly already mentioned. Hopefully not bore you too much with the technical details. The project Downtown Bike Facilities is a $759,000 mobility project which effectively connects the Great Allegheny Passage to Point State Park. This phase begins at the intersection. I'm looking at the intersection of 3rd Avenue and Stanwix Street, and runs north to the intersection of Stanwix Street and Penn Avenue. It then connects to the park by Liberty Avenue. The two-way cycle track that Molly mentioned runs along 2 raised bus platforms, which are sidewalk extensions that allow for the safe access to the buses while maintaining the connectivity to the cycle track. The project also features improved signing and pavement marking, curb and sidewalk restoration, as well as roadway milling and resurfacing. As Molly said, planning and design dates back to 2015. However, construction started in June 2020 and will run through November of this year. Last couple of items to wrap up are improved safety bike signal infrastructure. Through the end of the project, we have some advisory signs. We just ask that the public follow those advisory signs, especially at the corner of Stanwix and Penn, through the completion of the project. The downtown bike facilities is a major improvement to the safety of mobility of commuters, visitors, and bicyclists to downtown Pittsburgh. I'd also like to thank Mackin, Michael Baker, A. Moranti, Bike Pittsburgh, and as always, our visionaries Katie Sawyer and Paige Anderson at the department. Of course, PennDOT District 11 for their oversight and valuable guidance. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I'm Jeremy Welder, President and CEO of the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. On behalf of our stakeholders, the thousands of folks who historically call downtown Pittsburgh their place of work and their place of residence, thanks to the Mayor and Director Ricks for their leadership in getting this project done. I believe investments like the Gap to the Point are critical to the health and well-being of downtown Pittsburgh as we work to attract and retain the workforce of the 21st century. There are countless studies that show how separated bike lanes and better bike infrastructure not only improve cyclist safety, they also make our streets safer for pedestrians and individuals in cars. Transportation engineers and planners have been discussing the need to build our cities and specifically our streets for 8-year-olds and 80-year-olds, and this is a great next step in having a protected loop through the Central Business District, which only further encourages more people to feel comfortable biking recreationally or commuting to downtown Pittsburgh. This project provides a much-needed link and infrastructure to the Great Allegheny Passage, as we've heard, and will support the over 1,100 downtown bike commuters that we've historically seen on a daily basis. Again, I'd like to thank the city, the mayor, our colleagues at Bike Pittsburgh, and Friends of the Riverfront for their support of this important project. Thank you all. I'd now like to introduce Scott Bricker.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us. I'm so excited about this project. I'm Scott Bricker. I'm the Executive Director of Bike Pittsburgh. We're a bicycle and pedestrian advocacy organization representing thousands of people in our region. This project started in earnest in 2015, but it's really been a dream for decades to connect the Great Allegheny Passage and our trail system all the way to the point. And I'm so proud of this moment. This is a wonderful bikeway that's going to make things safer and more enjoyable and less stressful for everyone, not just cyclists, but pedestrians, transit users, and drivers as well. So, you know, I have to thank the mayor and his whole team at the city, the partners at the state and federal governments who also made this possible, all the staff that worked countless hours, all of my staff that did a lot of outreach around this project. It's just such a thrill to see something like this come to fruition. I'm so happy that the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership and our partners at River Life and Friends of the Riverfront were all able to get their constituents out and make this a better project and really answer a lot of questions that throughout the whole process. So in closing, I'm really happy that this finally happened, that we now have a direct connection for the thousands and thousands of people, both locally and nationally and internationally, that visit our city by bike to connect all the way to DC and just locally. Thank you very much, and I'm on to the mayor. All right, Mayor Peduto.
Thanks, Scott. I take a little bit of heat. You might not have heard that before about bikes, but it's more about building our streets for everyone. It's more about understanding that there are those that don't have a car. It's about understanding that there are people with needs, special needs, that need accessibility and that our streets should be designed for them. It's about understanding that so many of our neighbors rely on public transit and that the streets and the accessibility is not only a factor of being able to get the services you need, but the economic opportunity to break cycles of poverty. When we talk about complete streets, we talk about a complete city. We talk about building a city that is accessible for everyone, and not only creating that, but creating the opportunity for all to get to where they need to go. Today we connect certain parts of our bike network, but more so we look at the central part of our downtown, the region that is the business center of our entire region, and we look at it in a way to make it more accessible for everyone. I want to thank the leaders of the Downtown Partnership for working with us and understanding the importance for their employees to be able to get to work, and if they're using a bike to doing so, to making it so that it's safe for them and for those who are driving a car in downtown. I want to thank Bike Pittsburgh for being the advocate of those who rely upon bikes in order to be able to have it as their primary source of transportation, and not needing to own a car when you live in a city, but being able to have a network that is safe and accessible to get to any point you need to get to. Look, we have a lot of gaps to fill, and they're all over the city. But today we celebrate the completion of one of those gaps in one of our most critical areas, our shared downtown. And we look forward to working with these organizations and other community groups in filling those gaps throughout the city, whether it's in the North Hills or the South Hills, the East End or the West End. Every part of our city should it be accessible to every person that calls this city home.